You're on.
Oh, we're live.
Remember the part where I told you we're going to be live? Oh, okay, we're still doing that. What are these? Have we seen these before?
These are my beautiful dolls kill heels. They're supposed to light up, but they don't anymore, so... Yo, what's up? It's the RMM Show, Merrifield Show. We back in business, people. Hey.
Look, it's Renee Merrifield.
It's me. I'm back. Jolly, turn me up in my headphones, will you? How's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing amazing. Oh my God, how was your St. Patrick's Day? Was it good? Anybody?
Anybody out there? Make sure you put it in the comments. Go to the Facebook or Renee Merrifield Facebook page and type it in the comments there for the live feed.
Let's do some
we'll pop you up on screen.
Talk to me, people. Talk to me.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Aaron. Not just producer of this show, but also guest of today's show.
Guest.
Jason Aaron .pro. I rigged up a light for tonight. I figured if I'm going to be on, I might as well look real good. I look Florida tan.
And we just got back from Florida, didn't we, darling?
We did. It was great. Refreshing. Reinvigorating.
Oh, yeah. So good. We went to Orlando, and we went to Clearwater, and we went to Old Town. It was
so nice.
Yo, how about we talk about my hair real quick, because I wanted to shout out my girl Melody before we get started. So if y'all have some hair needs, which I know in the quarantine we all have hair needs, but y'all need to check out Melody Chambers. She is the bomb. Melody's Pretties. She works at E18 salon, and she's literally just one of the greatest persons ever, and her hair skills is beyond me. So she slays me. Look, there I am in the bottom. Melody's Pretties. We have a link for you at Melody's Pretties.
Do we have a link? We don't really have a link.
Oh my God.
What is that? Facebook? Is that how you find her? Facebook?
Yeah, just search on Facebook.
Pretties?
Melody's Pretties.
Melody's Pretties.
Can you get a close above this glass, Jolliffe?
Oh, like close? Look close? Like real close?
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Look at the dragon.
Oh, the dragon. Okay, hold on. Oh, look at that.
So cute.
Let me see if I can get focus here.
Yo, you got to check out Menagerie. I'm buying all my friends with them. They have like all different types of animals and stuff. Menagerie.com, I'm guessing, but they have beautiful wine glasses. They sell them at Cooper's Hawk, and my mom got me one. I broke it a long time ago, probably. Yo, so anyways, we're back after a little short hiatus, and we have
approximately 6 months.
No, it was like a 1 month hiatus.
Yeah, our last episode was September 17th. That's 6 months and 1 day ago.
You did this to us, Jolliffe. You did this to us.
I really did. I'm sorry. 2020 got crazy nuts busy. The pandemic affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways. I was
kind of affected
blessed.
You positively.
Yeah, not kinda. It was literally my best year since 1997, since I started this whole thing. So it was pretty crazy. So super busy, and it just got really hard to to continue to do this show every Thursday. But now we're kind of reinvigorated. We've been talking about some things. Got some ideas, big and small. I've got some crazy huge ideas for this show. So
yeah, we can go big, honey.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to we're gonna keep it consistent. We're gonna crank out a lot of content. Some will be full episodes like this is, and others will be kind of smaller snippets. We'll feature Renee's voice and singing ability, and mixed with my production. Like, we've really got the ideal scenario here with us two being together, literally living right here with studio access to a couple of studios. And man, why are we not cranking some stuff out? So we're going to do that. I've got a whole another room that we're going to utilize that's set up as an entire green screen arena, and we're going to have some fun with that. So I wanted to have some of that stuff ready for tonight to show, but it wasn't quite ready. I mean, we just got back Sunday, and I had to hit the ground running. Had some client stuff to wrap up, shoot yesterday for American Dairy Association, and then today was dedicated to sleep and then getting some stuff ready for the show. So
Yeah,
I'm excited about what's next.
I'm so excited. We have so many amazing guests planned, and they're going to come on the show. And we've had a ton of friggin' beautiful guests so far. Just really popular, semi-famous, and famous people that have been on here. Famous in my eyes, at least. And they have been so great. I have loved doing this. It's been fun, and I'm so excited to interview my baby, who he's not just my baby, but he also has an extensive portfolio of his lifelong work that he's been doing. I'm just so proud of you. You've done so much, and you're such an amazing person, an amazing boyfriend, but I mean, your work ethic is just incredible. So I had to, you're already on the show.
It's from my daddy.
Yes, and he's so sweet. I love this little squish. I just want to squish their cheeks. You need to call them, by the way, and say, "Hey, Mom."
I will.
Hey,
So
Mom.
Lisa Marie Swazkowski says, "I took my mom out for Mexican." She was responding to your what'd you guys do for St. Patty's Day? So.
Yeah, what did everybody else do for St. Patty's Day? Did you get your green beer? And I need to know. We
you and I hit up we had a shoot for half the day in Warren, Indiana, towards Fort Wayne, and then on the way back, I was like, "Hey, you want to stop at Haraz Casino or Haraz? I think it's Haraz Casino," and we did a little drinking there. Kind of be in that atmosphere. The atmosphere of casinos is kind of fun with the lights and the ding, 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 all that stuff. And
we didn't
then
actually play any of the slots, which I was like, what? But that's okay. We had to get out of there, and then we went and had some steaks. It was all yummy.
That's right. Shout out to Alexis over at Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, we got a girl we go to every time. She the bomb. She take care of us.
That's right.
And yes, we had some sangrias, and we had some, what is it? Green beer. Frozen sangrias, whatever.
That's right. They did hook us up with green beer. They were more festive than I thought they would be for St. Patty's Day for some reason.
St. Patty's Day is the shoot. Yeah,
it was fun.
It's my absolute favorite holiday besides Halloween. So next year we really need to go all out for St. Patty's Day because it's a national drinking holiday.
Yeah, sure.
So first of all, Jolly, as we get...
You want to talk about our vacation a little bit more? I got some photos lined up. Do you want to see some photos?
We had some really fun stuff. We scooted around. We went with my mom and my stepdad. We were scooting. That was our first scooting experience.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to show
the roller coaster. We went on this.
Okay, you're skipping all over the place. Here was our first night in Orlando. This was at a Four Seasons Resort.
Yeah.
A Walt Disney World Resort, and that was our view from the balcony. So it was beautiful, and it looked even better at nighttime. So that was fun to have that full big old balcony there.
It was beautiful. Yeah, we got up there and sat, and I'm like, "Oh my God, we're gonna die."
And then we had some dinner.
He had Wu-Tang. Ooh,
no,
honey.
not Wu-Tang.
What's it called? Oh my God, that's awkward.
Wagyu.
Wagyu.
Yeah.
Right.
Not Ragu. Yeah.
No, not
Ragu. In the lower right there, that's a very high-end premium. Like if you thought filet was best, think again,
it's
because
like
this
butter.
These cows are like nurtured, and they're saying nursery rhymes, and they're named, and they're petted and nurtured, and it's crazy. So out of Japan,
it's crazy tasty.
It literally like melts in your mouth.
It's like butter.
Joni Earnhardt says hello.
Hi, John. Oh, is it Joni?
Joni Earnhardt, yeah.
Hi, Joni, my favorite person ever in the world.
Wait, what?
Besides Jolly.
Okay.
She's my band mom. She's the best. Y'all, speaking of my band, check out my band, Dude. So let's what's more?
Yeah, we need to have a regular banner
stuff
up for that. Yeah. So it was dinner. This was breakfast, like the next day. This was pork belly tacos, which were insane.
And I was so hung over at that point. Was I hung over?
Good.
No, that was when we were still. Morning. No, we got off the plane at 4. Or no, we got onto the plane at 4 a.m. Well, no, we woke up at 4 a.m., had a bottle of champagne and mimosas.
No shame.
And then we went to the bar in the airport, had a few drinks at like 5 a.m.
Nothing strange.
And then we had some drinks on the flight.
And
then we went to this place, had like 5 million more mimosas. Then we went to this fancy place later on, had a bunch of... What are they called?
Like right here.
Mojitos. Oh my God. See, these mojitos were fire.
The atmosphere was just beautiful and gorgeous. We were up on the 17th floor, the top floor of the Four Seasons, overlooking just that. You could see Epcot, the Epcot ball clear over to the left. You could see Magic Kingdom over to your right. And we didn't actually go to Disney World, but it didn't work out that time. Yeah, we thought about it, but it's like, well, that's not really what this trip was about.
Yeah.
We
Those
did some
mojitos,
shooting
though.
there and stuff, and some quick shooting.
Has anyone ever seen mojitos like that? I mean, normally
Mojitos.
they come in like a tall glass with a mint leaf, and they kind of crush the mint leaf in there. But this was the bomb, and it had some, I don't know what it was, like egg yolk or like vanilla pudding on top. I don't even know. But
I think it was like an egg white, fluffy kind of something.
We had like 20 of those.
Like a meringue kind of thing.
And I had some beer along with that, and then we had bourbon. We had some fancy bourbon. Then we were sitting out there smoking a cigar. By the end of the night, I'm pretty sure I was dead because of. I mean, and we're both tanks. We can handle it.
Well,
but
one of
I
us
mean,
is a tank.
eventually,
the other one thinks they're a tank, and
eventually, I mean, literally,
we were supposed to do a photo
4
shoot / video shoot out on the balcony, and someone wasn't up for it after that. But
no, we started doing it. I'm just like, look, I'm not gonna do this unless I'm giving it my all, and I was just wasted, so I had to be like, nah, we gotta go to sleep. And that bed was comfortable,
and actually,
honey.
Speaking of the, so here is a little time lapse of the of me setting up for our photo shoot out
that
there.
we never did.
I mean, look at the space there. Like, we had so much space. We're gonna take some nice photos.
I feel so bad about that.
You know, it's the first time I've set up, or not set up, but that I've taken photo, video equipment on a plane. You know what I mean?
And you paid
for it. So this was kind of my, kind of. I mean, we took a suitcase that had a bunch of stuff in it, and really, that little LED light there, I mean, that weighs nothing. Just a couple of batteries. I didn't even bring the power supply for it, and you know, just a single light, that little camera that I'm messing with right there. And
isn't that pretty though? I love that balcony. It's so nice.
Yeah, so we could have done a lot with just, and we did some other video shooting, but
we did some stuff. They
we're
had
not
some
going to bore you with
beautiful
our vacation this time.
Yeah, everyone's jealous. I know. We hadn't had a vacation in years, really.
Since like August of 2008. What was it, 18?
I feel like everybody feels that way, you know, right now with the pandemic. You just can't go out. You can't go anywhere. But it's starting to open up for sure.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord, baby Jesus, merciful baby Jesus.
Oh, and let's see. So, and then we connected. So that was like the first day and the day after, and then we connected with
my moms,
with Renee's
and Jim Dad, my
mom,
stepdad.
and Jim Dad there. So here's a little panoramic of our condo. So we were just we didn't spend a whole lot of time in there, but you know, we ended up going to like the pool a lot. Which here's the pool, real nice. Just real nice out there, big old pool, and
my vampire ass got severely burnt before we left because I went in a tanny bed for the first time in a decade for 4 minutes.
I thought you were gonna say
died.
like while we were there, I was like, how can you get burnt when this is how you run this? That's Renee underneath that little cherry sweater thing. Like, she's like
24/7.
No sun will touch this body.
I know. I'm a vampire. I literally am so.
That's
I think
her cone
I'm just
head.
allergic to the sun.
She puts her hair up in a bun and.
I just get allergic, man, and I just break out in sun poisoning and hives and stuff, and the sun just. Something explicit that I'm not going to say, but
and then we went to downtown Orlando, and Renee mentioned riding around on scooters and stuff. But we had a little picnic.
And there were little swans.
The city right behind us. That was I forget what the name of that lake is, but it's like, you know, New York has Central Park,
and that's kind of Orlando's Central.
And then this is like except New York's is a lot bigger. But this is it was real pretty. They had a little fountain out there and stuff like that. So.
Yep.
So that was a good time.
Super cute. Had a picnic.
And then
what else you got?
And then on the way back, I gotta say, so I'm having a lot of fun exploring the perks of my American Express Platinum card, and the Priority Pass part of it is pretty awesome because at the airport while we're waiting, Janet and Jim had their flight was like at 10, ours was like at 2 something. So we had about 3 or 4 hours that we had some time to kill. And this Priority Pass thing, this is a whole nother, this is like an upper level where this is a complimentary space to Priority Pass people. And we were able to kind of lounge up here. We had complimentary drinks. We had Bloody Marys and some, what do we have? Hummus and...
Awkward, sorry.
We're doing that, right? But anyway, it's real fun. And so, I don't know, I'm kind of just getting fired up to do more traveling and kind of use some of the benefits. I'm really just at the tip of the iceberg. So Renee's been wanting to travel for a long time, so we're gonna make that happen. Every maybe 3 or 4 months, we're going to go on a little trip. Somewhere, somehow. Although you haven't picked the next place you want to go. I told you to pick, and you haven't picked yet. What you waiting for?
I was thinking we could go to the Grand Canyons because it's just so pretty.
Okay, there you go. That was one of the options I gave her. So
I asked him, can we go on a little mini trip for my birthday in a few days? Of course.
We just got done with the trip. But yeah, next time, are you going to stay coherent enough to do some shooting at the Grand Canyon?
Definitely.
Okay.
Promise.
Cool.
Probably.
All right. Well, that's all the photos I got. That was a quick little recap of our vacay. I know y'all wanted to know about it, so.
I know. They're like, ew, shut up. That's so fun, though. We had so much fun. And, baby, show the roller coaster video. I made a TikTok, y'all.
Okay.
I made a TikTok. And it's kind of lame or whatever, but let's roll it.
All right, let me see where that's at.
I mean, it was in Old Town, which is just this cute little, it's kind of like the State Fair vibes. And this roller coaster, janky ass looking roller coaster, we were kind of scared to go on it. I mean, I'm down for anything, whatever. But it ended up being the best roller coaster I've ever been on. I mean, it was just really a force of nature. Check it out. Do you turn up the volume, bub?
I don't know. Oh, I know what it is. This roller coaster was insane. You really should have turned that landscape.
I've never been on such an intense roller coaster, really. Wow. If you wanted me to turn a landscape, it would have fell out of my hand for sure, 1,000%. Yeah, you know, because you got that pop socket. And
I was kind of impressed that you were able to hang on to it. Actually,
I know most people.
To be honest,
are like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Well, I took the chance. You know what I'm saying? We got to get that footage.
Took that chance. Yeah.
So I'm so excited to have you as a guest on my show. I just feel like the viewers. Weird. I know you're always
I guess this is
anyways.
An appropriate way to kind of fire the show back up and everything. I don't know. Sure.
You know,
this is your idea, not mine.
I mean, it's like you're so cutie patootie, and I don't think you get enough credit for all the stuff that you've done. And you have such a rap sheet or whatever it's called. So rep sheet, whatever.
Well, that's I think that relates to prison. Portfolio.
Yeah, resume. And you have just been. I mean, okay. So let's tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. First, maybe we can just say the blatant fact that you've been doing TV and video production for over 22 years. So that's amazing.
Since 97, yeah.
Since 97, which I was just like probably 6 or something then. My math is bad, but
just a baby.
I was just a baby. So I'm like, tell us about your childhood and like, how did you get involved? How did you first start even thinking about doing this? Where are your inspirations coming from? Like, talk to me, big.
Actually, you want to take a look at the sizzle reel real quick? This will give you kind of a quick overview of some recent work, although this is a very outdated sizzle reel. This is from like 2015. I need to do a new one, but
sure, let's see.
You want to check that out?
Yeah.
Right.
Jason did a piece on our band a couple years ago that combined an interview as well as some live shots, and the overall piece was done outstanding. Our fans loved it. It did a good job of capturing the band's live energy, and it was a pleasure to work with them. Professional and gentlemen.
Other things we kind of attribute to Jason are honestly timeliness and a dedication. He'll stay as long as it takes to get the job.
We went across America with him. We'll get into that later.
We've enjoyed working with him, and we look forward to being in the loop on other projects in the future.
Working with Jason has been a really great experience. I think one of the things that actually stands out is the quality of the production. It was really easy to work with, and definitely get a lot of people that come in and talk about the fact that they've come in because of spots that they've seen and how much they've really enjoyed them.
Yum.
You were jangling all over the place over there.
Sorry.
How dramatic is this?
So dramatic.
I love it.
was quite happy. I've had people
JY.
staying downtown, have seen the video, called here. I sent T-shirts all around the country based on
Connor's
that.
Pub.
But people
Connors.
come here, drive all the way up from downtown where they could have stayed, but came up here based on the video they saw.
One of my favorite shoots right here. Especially that shot right there. Rupert. Survivor.
Their quality of work is second to none. I really enjoy working with them because not only are they friendly, but they are professional in everything that they do.
Great. He does a great job. The quality is top notch, and we're happy to have him help us out with our advertising anytime we get the chance.
Boom.
Oh my God, that reel is so amazing. I mean, it just shows just a clip it of your freaking talent. I mean, dear God, that's
Thanks.
amazing. Baby.
And then I tag it with a few of the, that doesn't even have the couple of recent ones.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Night lights, night lights, real scene, in the loop.
Which are your, so you've had 4 TV shows, which we can get into in a little bit after you tell us a little bit about your childhood, but wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so amazing. That freaking video is dope. Just shows, I mean, you've
Thanks.
done all types of filming, TV producing, video production with animals, food, bar, nightlife, people, interviews. I mean,
Fashion, celebrities.
And what else was I going to say? Yeah, just all, I mean, high intensity adventure stuff as well. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to talk about the celebrities that you've gotten to take around in limo and treat and stuff. Well, just tell them.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Well,
Bow
you want to start from the beginning?
Yeah, okay, fine. We'll start from the beginning. So, what was your first inspiration when you were a baby child? I mean, was it that far back that this has affected you? Have you always wanted to do this?
Was it that far back? Let me give you a little preview of how far back this really goes here.
Oh, it's your dad.
So, my mom has home movies dating back to 1957 when she was just a teenager. And that's my dad right there. This is actually, this is probably 1975 or 6 when I was a baby. That's my dad there on the right.
He's a
not him, that's my
handsome
Uncle Tom
fella.
right there. There's my
There he
dad
is.
right there.
Look at him.
He looked like Elvis, especially with his shirt off. The dude is just ripped. Still is ripped. There's me.
Oh,
Look at that head of
shoot.
hair.
Oh!
Look at that. There's me hammering. So this is one of the most treasured
Oh my God.
videos in my family's me hammering,
Stop.
and my sister Ellie right next to me there. You'll see her to the right. She was very protective, and so
You're just hammering away, cute little bean. I just want to
Yeah.
squish you.
so my other life, maybe I would have gone into construction, but the point here is that we've got home movies dating back to like I said, 1957.
Do it, Jolly, do it.
And my mom just always had
Do it.
She always had what? I was going to pull up that picture, then I got distracted. Wait, show that one.
I always
Wait,
make
wait.
everybody. I make
I
them
don't.
do it. Hold on. Wait, where? Show
Wait,
the.
turn to
Okay,
the.
show.
It's up there.
Oh.
It's that kind of thing.
Can we zoom in?
Well,
Oh.
it went off. Okay, there we go.
Oh, that's a baby. He's a baby. He's a real baby.
Anyway.
Oh my God. Okay. So, anyways, sorry.
What was I saying? Yeah, home movies. And so she let me borrow the film camera. I mean, literally a wind-up film camera, and and do skits with the cousins, and and then as technology advanced, we went to VHS-C, and she let me borrow that, and I've got skits with. I won't bore you with those skits, but it's actually pretty funny. So, it was always like kind of this innate little passion that I had, making little skits and movies with the cousins, and then in '97, here's another little. I'll show you a little. I'll let this play for a little bit. briefly while we talk here.
Is this the crying video? So
Yeah,
this is home videos that he made. Me and him just bawl every time we watch this. And the whole family balls whenever we watch
So
this.
my two rocks right there, my mom and dad. This was for their 50th wedding anniversary. Big surprise. Family came from all around. It was a huge gathering, and I showed this up on a movie screen. And
I can't watch this or listen to this without crying. Like, I'm literally like tearing up a little bit right now.
I mean,
I don't know why this video has that effect on me. It's so sweet.
Volumes,
his mom there.
volumes of DVDs that I've transferred from home movies, from film.
His mom's so pretty.
And anyway, we don't have to show a bunch of that, but
show the part where it gets like really intense and he does the, the muscle thing.
Nate, yeah, it was my brother Nate. Marine.
Oh, there he was. Oh my God, with hair and Jolliffe with hair.
We'll
there
show
he is.
like the
That's
first
Jolly.
little thing here. Again, very dramatic.
Of course.
Just showing the family history going back 50 years.
There's Joll. There it is. Ah! Oh, shoot. There you are. You're so cute with your little black hair.
My kitty Pewter.
Pewter.
Roller skating. The go-kart my dad made.
Look how handsome your dad
Ping
is.
pong, I am the world champion. Me as a basketball
really
star,
is.
MVP, no big whoop.
Aww. There's Jolly. Aww. That's so sweet.
I love my family, man.
It's like not even, I wasn't even born with y'all, and I'm just like, that makes me cry. LOL.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't born with y'all, because
That's
then I
about
couldn't
80
be
hours.
with you.
That was about 80 hours of work to
Work.
put that together. The week leading up to the thing, my family was getting worried. They're like, "Are you gonna be right?" Like,
Yeah, you
I
gotta
will
put the
not.
work.
I will not fail you.
disappoint.
Yeah, I will not disappoint.
That is so sweet. I love when your dad goes. He had such
Well,
big
that was
muscles.
Nate. That was my oldest brother, Nate.
What?
Yeah.
That was Nate?
Yeah, that was Nate. He's the one that's always showing off his muscles.
Oh, I thought that was your dad. That looks like your dad.
No.
Oh, I was thinking of the part where your dad like holds up one of the kids or something like that. Oh no, he did like a handstand off the pool or ledge or something.
Yeah.
So cute. So I remember you telling me about in the attic there was like these tracks, right? And you kind of spliced them, and that was kind of your first thing with video.
Well, one of my first memories on Earth is editing, splicing together actual film. So it's called linear editing. What I do now is non-linear. The age of digital, it's all non-linear editing. So that means you can, it's all digitized, and you can take snips, from all over the place and mix them up. Whereas before it was actually, you would have to, cut the film and then grab another piece of film and tape that. Yeah, and that was an edit. That's how you did that. So
Zing.
So one of my first memories is kind of sitting with her on the floor with a reel-to-reel editing system and putting the film together. Home movies,
That's so sweet.
So
That's where you got started, and then that just kind of was a mustard seed for you.
Yeah, it really was. So 97, I worked two real jobs in my life. The first one was Big Lots during my teenage years, and that took me to my late teens. And then I worked at a North American Signs, which was a sign manufacturing company in South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah.
They'd make Red Roof Inn signs and just the big signs. Structure inside of that was one of my accounts, is I would actually drill holes through the structure, plexiglass signs that they hung in the thing, and I kind of I was a very good worker. I've always been a good worker, and
They wanted to make you a manager, and you're just like, this is not where I
yeah,
want
they
my
would
life
like the
going.
person before me was doing like one of these signs per day, and I did like 4 in like
An hour.
an hour. Yeah, I mean it was just they were kind of
She was like,
milking the
job
clock.
security, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not really how I operate.
You're like, I'm
so,
a good worker.
Yeah.
So you left that, and then that's when your career started,
Yeah,
your
well,
lifelong career with
Yeah, I talked
production.
to the owner and CEO there, and just wanted to be upfront with them, be like, hey, look, I've got this passion, I want to try it out. And he said, hey, you've always got a place here if that doesn't work out. So I quit in November of 1997, invested. Got a loan for $10,000 and invested that in buying, kind of the biggest computer at the time and some other specific video editing equipment, and that was I was off and running. I lived in Cassopolis, Michigan, and started out doing my first professional video that I got paid for was a local a local animal clinic, like a veterinary clinic kind of thing. And they had footage from little, camcorder that they had, captured a bunch of stuff, and I edited that together, and they loved it. So what always one of the most rewarding things, even to this day, is having an audience that watches, my work and is moved to tears or laughter or just loves it and appreciates it, whatever. So
that's such a powerful thing to do, is to be able to do what you do and then bring people, like you said, tears or happiness. I mean, that's just so moving, and that's very touching. And every project you do, I'm just wowed by it. Like your reel says, all of your clients just love it. So the quality is top notch.
Yeah, thanks. So it was a few years of doing weddings and just kind of finding some local stuff. Again, it was out in the boondocks, Cassopolis, Michigan. Not a whole lot of work to be found there. So it was it wasn't like making tons of money, but it was mostly weddings and then corporate videos and stuff like that. But in 2000, late 2000, I heard a
and that's when you went bald, I think. Right? No,
that was
later.
That was a couple years later. About 2001, I heard a radio advertisement for a local filmmaking company, production company, filmmakers, like film acres, like acres of land, who is that's owned by John Hancock, Oscar-nominated director John Hancock, who is doing kind of a casting call, crew call for people to help out on a film that he was going to be producing in his hometown of LaPorte, Indiana. And I was working with Gary Martin, and actually that's a huge part of my life. I kind of accidentally skipped over that. Sorry, Gary. Shout out to Gary Martin.
We love Gary. What a cute. It's his best friend.
My
They're
dude,
so
since 2000, January 4th, 2000. I started working with him in Elkhart, Indiana, and he kind of took my knowledge to the next level because he's been doing it for, video for 20 years before me, even maybe even longer than that. Is still doing it. I help him with things. He helps me with things to this day. We talk several times a week for hours at a time, and I just love that guy. And he showed me kind of some high-end equipment. I was just kind of getting started, and then I started working with him, and he showed me, high-end equipment and some of these other things. Started working with him there in Elkhart. So I was working with him when I heard this call for suspended animation, which here's the movie that came of it. And so I just started. I showed up to this casting call, but really it was just to introduce myself as, hey, I'm a local guy that I can do editing and I know Adobe, Photoshop, and stuff like that. And long story short, I just kind of kept showing up every day, and I got the role of assistant editor, and it was a crew of like 50 people. And was just an absolutely amazing experience, and something that I kind of still draw on from today. And actually, I can show a little featurette that I did for that DVD. And let's see here. Here we go. So this is like the little menu for suspend animation, and I did the. So you can see that one gal in Armageddon with Bruce Willis. She had a quick part in there, but this was just an amazing thing to be a part of. Kind of horror suspense film.
Yeah, it looks scary.
And so I did this little this featurette thing, which behind the scenes featurette.
Okay.
So we'll show a little bit of this. John Hancock right there. So we're seeing movie footage mixed with behind-the-scenes footage. I shot the behind-the-scenes footage, majority of it.
Filmmakers Productions is located in LaPorte, Indiana. Not at all where you would expect to find Hollywood movie magic. Quite a departure from his last two family-oriented films, Suspended Animation ventured into the horror genre, which
he actually did. John Hancock produced Weeds and Bang the Drum Slowly.
In
Nick Nolte and Robert De Niro.
Once casting was completed, the time-consuming art of creating prosthetics began. Victor Kao, founder of Fun Effects in South Bend, Indiana, took on the daunting task of prosthetic engineer.
I have a little problem with my neck.
Oh, I know him. He's an actor.
Right where you're going to get
I
stabbed?
recognize him off of some stuff.
Really?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this is like 20 years ago.
I know.
Huh. The kid?
Yeah, the kid.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Cannot remember what he was on.
I'm going to put plaster bandage on the back.
Like Malcolm in the Middle or
bandage
something.
not to stick to the front bandage, we put Vaseline. So that gives us like a 2-part mold sort of thing.
So this is all you filming this behind-the-scenes stuff, you said, most of it.
Yeah,
Most of the main actors had little or no experience operating a snowmobile. They underwent days
yeah, so these are some local guys
before
that
filming began.
kind of helped us
You're going to
out.
have to put the helmet
Oh,
on
this
a little
dude is so
farther
funny.
ahead. This is the Roman look. Yeah.
We're talking about the fact that my head is jammed into this rather small space. My brain is far too large for this enclosure. I feel alone and yet at the same time held too tightly. Like a single testes in a much too tight brief.
A single testes
So
in a
these,
much too tight
yeah,
brief.
these I mean, this was my first time on a snowmobile. I mean, it was just such a great experience. And it really got me fired up for just kind of working in that environment, working with a talented crew, just people, that were expertise. There's the stuntman giving instruction to one of the leads. And this is
I love that sound.
Yeah.
That's my childhood. I can smell that sound. Gasolines,
yeah,
man.
first time riding on a snowmobile.
Cool.
And one of the best experiences that I remember from that whole thing is Oscar-nominated director Johnny Hancock calls me up from Canada, asking for not really advice, but just like, hey, I've got these shots. We were shooting this, they were shooting the avalanche scene. I was in charge of getting avalanche stock footage from a guy in Alaska or something, and I had done these test shoots, kind of during, when you're seeing this behind the scenes footage. I was getting a lot of test footage to kind of show how that avalanche scene would be pulled off, and he calls me and says, hey, how should I frame these to get to make it match the best and everything? So I kind of explained to him and everything. But it was just so awesome.
That's really
cool.
cool.
One of and there's another moment where they send an emergency vehicle to the office where I'm doing some editing and logging of footage and stuff like that. And they rush me to the set, and they bring me into this room where they're filming, and the director, John, he noticed that there was a sync issue, and he wanted me to listen. And so he gives me the headphones. I'm listening to it in camera, and the assistant director's like, quiet on set. The assistant editor's here, something like that. And just everyone, like you could have heard a pin drop. And I was listening to it, and I was like, all right. And I kind of, I heard the issue, and I was like, all right, I'm on it. And got the issue, taken care of.
Resolved,
and it was just...
and that's something I think that is so amazing about you as well, is that you are a quick thinker on your feet. I mean, I've seen you so many times in situations that are impossible to solve, and you always have a backup. You have triple backup. All of this, what you're doing. I mean, like, it's very complicated to do what you do, all of the chords and all of this and that, and you always figure it out. You're a problem solver.
Well, it's that's I consistently pull from 20 some years of experience, because I've been in a lot of different scenarios, and I know my gear inside and out. I'm not just blindly pushing buttons. I've spent a lot of time with my gear, and I know it very well, and I take the time to understand it, know how it know how it all
You're
works.
You're a manual reader for sure. I refuse to read manuals.
I'm not really
and do homework. I'm
not really a manual reader. I test things a lot, and if I know that I'm going to use a piece of equipment in a certain way coming up, I don't want to experience something for the first time, on location while I'm shooting for a client.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of go through testing and stuff like that.
Because God
just
knows
make
what
sure.
problems could arise, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
you really,
and you
really do. You go through stuff before you do your shoots. You test drive it. You run through it a million times to make sure that this is going to be successful.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that sets you apart from other producers and from other filmmakers. Like, you really do know your stuff, like you said, and you take the time. I mean, it doesn't come naturally necessarily to anyone. You really put that time in there.
Yeah. Well, I love it. And it's I'm a troubleshooter. My dad was, again, pulling from my dad and his work ethic, but also his troubleshooting ability, and just patience. I think as an editor, you've got to be very patient, because you're sitting with footage for a long time and massaging it, and you're watching stuff over and over again, and you're listening to music over and over again. Mm-hmm. So it's nothing for me to hear, I'll put a song on loop all day for days at a time. And I don't know, just you start to see things and kind of edit in your head and everything. So.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So from there, is this where you kind of took a few years, kept doing your stuff, and then you eventually decided to start your own first TV show?
Well, actually, before that, there was, kind of spinning off of that full feature. I have a friend that directs short films and full features, and I worked with him on some of his movies, and I always love it when he calls me up and says, hey, can you help out with with my next concept? And Andrew Littlefield, shout out to Andrew Littlefield. This is something we did. He lives in Chicago. He lived in Indy, and we've worked together here in Indy.
And you filmed this, or
I kind of found him for. Actually, this intro was shot.
Good.
Well, I was shot by someone else. The titles were done by someone else, but the movie's called Perhaps. And but you'll see.
You edited it, I see.
Well, I shot it. I shot everything except for this intro. So let me turn that. Oh, there we go. The opening shot you'll see here in a second was Cordova. They got married since then. But real talented. I wish I had his memory for certain things, but we'll just watch the opening shot here.
You hear all these great stories about comedians starting at hole-in-the-wall places, working 2 jobs just to pay rent and other shit, but get a lucky break and wind up in LA playing opposite Vince Vaughn.
Hey, Mark. You got 3 minutes tonight.
Thanks, boss.
All right.
Cheers.
There's Jen Burrow in the background there. You met Jen.
This is not one of those stories.
Yes, what
this
a
doll.
doll.
This is a story about a girl.
Is she the girl?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. You've been a great audience.
Jen's a doll, baby.
Thank you.
So I had a 12-foot crane in here doing some stuff, and yeah. So it's I love working with Andrew, and.
So was she the star?
Hey,
Not star, but
tonight.
she was one of the leads in this.
Yeah, she was the female lead.
She is a cutie patootie.
Yeah, she is. You met her here.
Well, we met a few times, and
Indy.
we met in Chicago Midwest Fashion Week and
Midwest Fashion Week?
Chicago, yes. I thought that was her. I saw the name, and I was like,
oh yeah, I think maybe she did come.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I meant to do that. There we go. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do that right there. Okay. But yeah, I love working with Andrew, and we haven't had a chance to work together for a little while, but we've created some really cute little short films together.
Yeah, and that's just an aspect of your career is short films. I mean, there's so many different aspects to TV and film production. For you, some people just stick to one thing, but no, you have just mastered and then ventured, and I think that's great. I love short films. I think that's great. You've worked on full-length movies, features, and you've worked on short films. I mean, so
and not
so
as many as I'd like
Commercials.
to. Like that those creative projects are my favorite.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that, because the TV shows have been a creative outlet, but also have paid the bills. So it's this great hybrid of my own, kind of my own projects. I'm able to monetize them in a way that makes sense, and it kind of self-funds itself, and also explore kind of my surroundings. So
yeah, but these shorter things are, the creative projects, like those are really fun to do.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and that's what you said at the beginning of this podcast, is that we are going to start doing more of that and more. We have so many good ideas, and with all my music and all my original songs and everything, we're going to put it in overdrive.
That's right. So in 2008.
That's when you did Night Lights.
I was helping out with a TV show with Gary Martin. I was shooting. Someone else was editing. So it kind of gave me a look into the TV side of things, and I quickly realized, I'm like, this is no big deal. TV, I mean, because I had just been doing corporate video, stuff like that. It's like TV, it was not going to be a big deal. You know what I mean? It's like you just got to find a channel.
Right, yeah.
Got to find a channel or a station that will pick it up and play it, and you got to figure out how to make money with it. Yeah, pay for it. And that comes through sponsorships or paid segments or commercials and whatever.
Right.
But so my first TV show, my first TV show was Night Lights, and found a local girl there that wanted to be in front of the camera, and it was a real small, scrappy production. It was just me and her. She did the in front of the camera stuff. I was doing all the stuff behind the camera, from sales to shooting to editing to
literally everything,
all aspects of production. And so it was 2008. So so I had to go back, and I wish I was a little bit better at archiving, some of these older things, but I did pull from YouTube. So here's a quick little look at one of our, I think this is like episode 2. So we'll just kind of show you the intro and kind of what that looks like. So let's see if we can get in there.
If you think there's nothing to do around here, you're wrong, because this is Nightlight, show all about fashion, food, and fun in the Michiana area. I'm your host, Amy Beers. We're going to be hanging out at Lakeshore tonight for some trivia, and then we're going to head on over to the Chubby Trout for some really great food, and then we're coming back to Lakeshore for some crazy partying. So stay tuned and don't miss it.
Fashion. Food.
Out at Lakeshore Bar and Grill, located on State Road 19, just north of County Road 4. They are the only bar located off of the lake. We're here on a Thursday night. It's trivia night. We're going to go talk to David and find out what this trivia game is all about. Tell us about this crazy trivia game.
Well, the crazy trivia game only takes about an hour.
So we would go around to the different locations and, and find restaurants and bars, and, it was fashion, food, and fun. So it was, we had to incorporate the fashion there, so we get sponsored by clothing and jewelry sponsors. But it was really about restaurants and bars, and some art and stuff like that. And it did kind of expand. But this was really the first. And I look at this stuff and I'm like, ugh, I get a little cringy. This is, again, this is 2008. This is like 12, 13 years ago. And my style has changed and refined, and
as everyone's.
Yeah, we were filming in a very low lighting situation, so I had to tweak the camera to to capture that. But this ran for 5 years. We were up in the South Bend, Notre Dame area for about 2.5, 3 years, and then we moved the show to Indianapolis, where we continued as a web only kind of thing. I did pursue one of the stations here to pick it up, and that ended up not happening. They just didn't have the space, because they were always doing syndication and stuff like that. But I would always kind of reached out to Bruce Stickle, who has a connection to you.
Yes, I know his son, Willie Stickle, and his sister, who
shout
is
out to Bruce Stickle.
Doll. What's her name?
Colleen?
Colleen, yes.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, so, and eventually he ended up getting a future show on an Indianapolis station, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so that was Nightlight. So this ran from basically 2008 to about 2012, I guess. And in 2012, I kind of wrapped that show up because Amy and I weren't working together anymore, and jumped on to what are you snickering about? Okay, full disclosure, she was my girlfriend, and I broke up with her. But still did the show for 6 months. Figure that out. Anyway.
Ew, why did you do that?
No, I mean, without her.
Oh, good.
Because I'm that talented.
A good man
Yeah.
you are. So did you just do it without her?
Yeah, I did it without her for a while. And then in there somewhere, I got involved with the Indie Visitors channel. Shout out to Chris Walzak. Chris had reached out to me and was like, hey, I like what you're doing, where you're kind of showcasing local, restaurants and people and
so this is how you got into all of the hotels all across, thousands and thousands of hotels. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I produce the show it's basically like not basically, it's the Visitor Channel in Indianapolis.
Indie Visitors Channel.
Each city kind of has its own visitor channel, and it's always locally produced. It's not like there's a worldwide or a nationwide channel that's
for each state.
It's always like individual producers like me and Chris. So Chris is an executive producer. I executive produce with him and also shoot and edit for him and stuff like that. And we've been working together for like 10 years. I mean, it was right before Super Bowl in 2012. So it was like 2011, 2012. I kind of took over the production responsibilities for that channel, and boy, that's been great, because while these other shows Nightlights and Real Scene TV, which you'll see here in a second, and In the Loop and Lifestyle Indie. They are for kind of the local audience to watch.
And get to know the state.
And get to know their area,
Indie, so they come in from out of town. They stay in the hotels all around thousands. How many thousands? 30,000? What was it?
It's 11,000 hotel rooms.
Tomato. Yeah, so 11,000 hotel rooms. And,
it's like all the hotel rooms downtown, all the hotels downtown and on the north side. And
it has just different places to visit, to have fun things that eat, party, and I think that's great. And we've done a lot of, I mean, when we first got together 5 years ago, you were still doing that, and we got to kind of reap the benefits for that going, the different bars and stuff. And
it's not just bars, it's it's
like White River State Park,
and tourist attractions, art, like musicians here, stuff like that, stores, shopping, so we showcase Broad Ripple and the north side and a lot of downtown, because that's where that's where a lot of the hotels are located, so we kind of tell them what's walking distance and all that. In between Nightlights and actually, that was really shortly after Nightlights not ended. It was when I moved it to Indianapolis, because we were still up in like the South Bend area, so it didn't really make sense to like how was I going to work on the Indie Visitors channel when I'm up there. So once I moved the show here, then we quickly started working together. Yeah.
And then 2012, that's when you started your second TV show.
Yeah. Well, so I didn't start it.
TV.
I was working with Michelle Overton and Amber Brown, and I did end up assuming an executive producer role. So it was the three of us. But that went, they were already going for a couple of years, and I took over the production side of it. They weren't really doing anything for a while. They were on hiatus. They were trying to figure some things out. And I said, hey, let me. And so, as I was wrapping up Nightlights, I saw this as another opportunity to kind of do the same thing. It was a very comfortable environment, and kind of made him an offer. Said, here's how we can make it work. And then it happened, and we worked together for about 2.5 years. But here's I got something queued up here we can that we can watch real quick.
Productions.
So this is the very first episode.
Welcome to a new season of Real Scene TV.
Your hometown for what's happening in music.
Indianapolis is for you, man.
Come on.
Celebrities, dining, fashion, sports, and the hottest events around. Plus your chance to win tickets to the Straight Up Stupid Comedy Show and Jersey Boys.
All from our new studios at the top of the 247 Sky Bar. Real Scene TV starts now. Are you on the scene? We are. We are tracking.
So that was kind of that was one of the first times where it was this bigger ensemble group of people that were working
different
on the
hosts,
show, both in front of the camera and behind. So it was really nice to have help
bigger
doing this kind of stuff, with Michelle and
Which
Amber.
You're not really willing to do. I know you very well. I mean, I'm sure that must have been a little hard to relinquish some power in that.
It was just the creative control. I do like being able to have full control over and just do what I wanted to do. I'm a good team player, so when I had ideas and I wanted to do things, I would go to them and be like, hey, let's do this. And sometimes they'd be like, yeah, that sounds cool. And other times it'd be like, no, let's not do that. And
which you did not like when that.
And eventually,
it was your demise.
Eventually, it was like, you know what? I think I need to go back to just kind of doing my own thing, and and then that's where In the Loop kind of comes in.
So 2015 is when you started your third TV show, In the Loop.
Yeah. So this was my baby,
which I love In the Loop, and so you had 4 different hosts, 2 boys, 2 girls, and we just love all those people that you had doing that.
3 girls and 1 boy.
Sweeties. Oh yeah, 3 girls, 1 boy. And was each season you kept them, right, or did you change them out?
Actually, we only did 1 season because this was right before the Walk Across America, which I know is skipping ahead a little bit, but Walk Across America was 2016. So at the end of 2015, which was the end of the first season of In the Loop,
which is when we met.
I had to kind of wrap it. Yeah, but let me show you a real quick clip of
In the Loop.
In the Loop.
Andrew, are you ready to be in the loop?
Oh, I love those people.
Yeah.
Jada.
Andrew Luck, there's the celebrity side of things. Still that same theme, fashion, food, fun,
nightlife. You can tell how much just the quality is just you upped it, bro.
A little bit.
Yes, RTV6, that's huge. ABC channel.
Wow. It started actually on Wish TV. So that
Wish
was actually
TV
for Wish.
that went to our TV6.
That was actually a tweak to our original intro for what was going to be season 2 of RTV6. Fast forward. I mean, we're going to jump ahead for a second.
To be a host.
This was
on
like
the
last
show,
year, right before, literally like a year ago, like almost like to the month or whatever.
Brought it back.
I was going to start up another season, and then of course the coronavirus hit, and just totally, upended all of those plans. And of course it shifted to other things and all that. But that's still in the back of my mind. So at some point, it's going to make sense to fire that up. I've got some reoccurring hosts. And of course, Renee will be one of those hosts and everything. So just waiting for the right time again. We kind of had to start back from, not really scratch, but just, I was starting to.
We're patiently
I was getting
waiting,
ready to kick into sales
the pandemic
mode and
just
all
screwed
that.
everyone.
Yeah. So just had to pump the brakes on that for a second.
Well, I can't wait until it starts again, baby. That'll be really fun, and we're still here for you. And I'm glad we're having Jade back. And who else are we gonna have do that? I forget who you said. Caitlin or no?
Samson Livingston, who is someone I met during an IVC shoot, an Indie Visitors Channel shoot.
Yeah, real nice guy.
Real talented, and just is very passionate about Indiana history and, just yeah,
kind of a history buff
Yeah,
guy.
really, just really good, dynamic. His personality is just fantastic.
And I love how each of your hosts on that show have their own thing. You know what I mean? Like Jade was like the party, and then you have
restaurants and bars and nightlife. That was Jade.
Yeah,
and then Kaylin was like she was kind of my ace.
Fashion,
so like for those high end kind of like celebrity red carpet stuff like that, or if it was like a hard hitting, because she has a journalistic background, did some stuff in New York and stuff like that. So she was pretty sharp and had the the kind of mindset to go into a particular story or whatever it was and really do a great job.
Really
John Bousman was another one that was you saw him on the zip line in some of the little clips that I showed. So he was awesome. Although he's not going to be, he's moved to Colorado since the first season of In the Loop.
And you had Noah, who's amazing. He's kind of a theatrical theater guy.
Yeah. And then Caitlin Renee is going to be one of the new hosts of the new season. So it's you, Caitlin, Jade, and Lamson. Samson Levinson.
Samson. Yeah. Oh my God, that's hilarious. So. No, I can't wait. That really screwed us, the damn pandemic, but it's okay. I mean, everyone, the whole world's going through it as well, so I can't be too mad about it, but I'm really excited to do that. And, so was it through In the Loop that you had got to take out Norman Reedus and all these people?
No, that was Nightlights.
Nightlights. Yeah. So tell us about that.
Like 2010.
Just rewind briefly and tell us a little bit about your fun experience. I mean, Norman Reedus is just sexy.
So my favorite story.
The Walking Dead people.
Yeah. So my favorite story from taking Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery out. They were in town for a horror hound convention. And connected with them, said, "Hey, here's what I do. I produce TV shows, blah blah blah."
Yeah, let me take you out. You got the limo.
Yeah, I had a limo service in my pocket. Shout out to class first.
Does anyone
first
taste
class
pennies?
limousine, and Donnie over there. He was amazing. He's just like, "Hey, we'll do a straight up trade. You put me in the show every episode and promote me, and whenever you need a limo, and he had some just amazing limos. He had a 1937 Excalibur limousine that was just God, so elegant and beautiful, and but then had a the nation's only removable top Jeep limo. So we'd roll the top out, we'd pop it out the top. I mean, we got photos of that stuff. But so we took out Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus
while
they were in town.
I love
so
that.
Here's my favorite story from that night. We take them out to dinner.
No big deal, but
and this is at Iaria's Italian restaurant, and we're sitting there having dinner. And at the end of the dinner, he gets a phone call and kind of excuses himself. Comes back and is like, "Yeah, it's my agent. I guess I'm going to be doing this zombie, TV show or whatever," and downplays it because the zombie thing hadn't really,
taken
like
off
no one's
yet,
really doing it, whatever. Okay, turns out that's The Walking Dead. He got the call to be on The Walking Dead
while he was at dinner
while
with you.
While he was with me and the crew
house,
So it was just. So
he is my favorite character.
Yeah.
Oh
And now,
God.
worldwide phenomenon kind of thing.
For sure.
Yeah, they were there for Boondock Saints. That was kind of why they were at the Horror Hound convention. Oh. And that was so Sean Patrick amazing. Flannery, from Powder, you might recognize it, and other films, but I mentioned that one because he says that's his most proud work.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah,
it's a
really
tearjerker.
Good. So that was a fun night. And then the next night we take out Corey Feldman. So yeah, take him out. And that's a whole nother whatever. But
he's a nice guy.
That was great. Yeah, he's
super into the kids Me Too movement. He's a big advocate for
like Goonies. He's always
children.
a Goonie, and back in Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
The Goonies are my favorite movie ever. Yeah. Corey Feldman, that's super cool, baby. So okay, now let's flash forward. In the Loop was 2015. This wraps up.
Well, and actually, again, I mean, we're kind of bouncing all over the place because that's how the timeline works. But about 6 months after starting Nightlights, a guy from Indianapolis messaged me named Bernie Martin and says, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I'd like to do like a spin-off of your show, but around fashion." And of course, Bernie Martin is the founder of Midwest Fashion Week, and so we kind of quickly worked on a TV pilot that ended up not going anywhere. That's how TV pilots, can work sometimes.
Happen,
but we have been working together since 2008, a couple times a year on Midwest Fashion Week.
Yeah. So Jason has been filming Midwest Fashion Week for the past 10 years, and so you can see the just incredible shots he's getting. And
this is like 2019. Haven't really had one since.
Hey, she's tall
pandemic.
And beautiful. You got any shots of your nene?
Oh yeah, we've shown those before in the I forgot. I didn't even think to. I just grabbed. Yeah, well, did you walk for Cat 2 in this one?
Well, I've never walked for Cat 2. I'm not skinny enough, but everybody should check out. And Cat 2 is going up, up, up. He has famous people wearing his suits all the time. I mean, Bernie Martin is remarkable.
We just did a thing a couple of weeks ago, right before our Florida vacation. That was for, it was in conjunction with Paris Fashion Week and a pretty big magazine over there. I forget the name of it. It's like a French magazine, but pretty big magazine. But so you can kind of see how my style has changed over.
It's beautiful.
Over
Look at
the
those
years.
slow-mo shots.
Mixing slow-mo.
And kind of tell our viewers, a little bit about your setup. You usually use multiple cameras. I mean, you have a lockdown camera at the end of the runway there, and then you have two or three cameras at the end of the runway.
This one had, I was using 5 or 6 cameras. So I'm running one camera and then a couple other stationary cameras that are locked at the end of the runway. One is turned landscape,
yes, girl, work it.
The one you saw there, and then the other one is actually turned sideways so that I can get their full body and actually do like a digital zoom in. So it kind of gives me some cool creative control.
And a
there.
lot of these you're using your Steadicam, which for those who don't know, it's like a giant turtle shell with a giant arm, a metal arm that comes out.
Well, that's not the one that was used for that. That was the smaller Nebula.
The Nebula,
and that was Austin that was using those. I kind of put him in the role of using that one on the side.
Work it, girl.
And like those shots right there, that's him running. Well, not that one, but and that's me working the slow-mo camera. That's a 4K camera that I was shooting 60 frames per second. And
I can't believe you didn't find any of your nasters.
I know. The problem was that the other ones had talking on them in the interview, so that's why I skipped to this one because it was one of the only ones that didn't have.
And I mean, Cat 2 really is just high quality, beautiful stuff. I mean, elegant, and he does mostly kind of sleek business suits type things, but he has these gorgeous dresses and gowns and stuff for women and men. But really, I've been seeing him. He's picking up famous people all over the place wearing his suits, wearing his clothing. So go Katu. And everybody needs to follow Bernie Martin, follow Midwest Fashion Week. I've been in the Midwest Fashion Week world for years now. I've been blessed to walk so many different seasons with so many different designers. I mean, especially for being a curvy, really, really tall girl. They love me because I got that attitude. Got that rock star attitude. I know how to walk a runway, and I'm very confident on the runway. But there's just something about I think about my walk that they really like. But I'm one of the oldest ass people in this place, so they still have me, and I thank God for that. But I mean, it's an incredible experience, and look at that art. The Arts Garden is just stunning.
It's a good. He has it. He's had it there like 95% of the time each year, and it's just a great venue for it.
I mean, look at the women's suits. It's just gorgeous.
Scandalous.
So scandalous. I love it. Love little side boobs.
Look how beautiful that is. Tons of people.
Super beautiful. I mean, during the sunset and stuff, it's just freaking gorgeous.
Oh, that looks better when the sun's down. Because then the lights come out. Really nice. Anyway, so that's that. So yeah, so that started.
So 10 years of filming with Bernie.
me working with Bernie started after shortly after Night Lights. He kind of saw what I was doing there and wanted to do a little working together. And
you've been filming ever since, every single season.
Yeah.
And
I got my passport because I'm like, this might go to Paris and stuff like that.
Yeah, Bernie runs Paris, New York, and Midwest Fashion Week, which is here. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's incredible. He's such an outstanding guy. Yeah. Super talented guy. Yeah. And we've met so many amazing people along the way because of Bernie and because of Midwest Fashion Week. So shout out to them. Shout out to Pilar Ammons, who is a exquisite runway coach and friend, and Chelsea, aka Nicholas, and just Denisha Green, Paris, and just so many people that India. We just love them. We love the whole crew. It's amazing. Good people. So
another cool thing that happened. And this was, speaking of Super Bowl in 2012, this was, I got a gig to do the Leather and Laces party, which is a big celebrity party that happens in conjunction with the Super Bowl, no matter what city it's in. And this particular one, they had like Carmen Electra, and Jenny McCarthy, the Girls Next Door, which is the 3 of the Playboy Bunny girls, whatever, And so yeah, so this was a pretty cool one. So we'll show like a quick little clip from this. Yeah, after I turn up the thing here.
Hi, I'm Amy Beers, and we are on the red carpet for the 9th annual Leather and Laces party during Super Bowl 46 here in Indianapolis.
That's about 5 years of work, you know. No way around it. Don't put it on.
She's like a cockroach.
Okay, settle down.
You're like, stop.
Race car drivers were in there. There's Carmen Electra. This is when I met.
We are on the red carpet with Kendra Wilkinson, and I see you brought your husband with you.
No, I didn't. What are you talking about? Leather and Laces is always the best party. I get to host with Jenny McCarthy, one of my favorite people in the world, and I think it's going to be fun.
Aerialist. I forget the comedian that we got to interview.
NFL players here because I'm single.
I heard that. You're looking for a man's man.
I'm ready to kind of get it on a little bit.
But anyway, that was,
fun.
Some
Lots
people
of
might
fun.
recognize him from The Tick and Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's a great thing about. There's JWoww.
The Leather and Laces party? Yes. Obviously, I kind of
About what I do, because like you get to get into some crazy just situations and environments and meet like celebrities that you never would have met before and actually hang with them and talk to them and take them out to dinner sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a great experience. I can't believe all the stuff you've done and all the stuff you have under your belt.
It's pretty cool.
But that's very cool. Like Night Lights, and I mean that was your first thing. I mean, it started you. I mean, it wasn't your first thing, but it really did kick off your
first
kind of
TV
show career there. So I think that's great. And then so after that, 2017 is when you started Lifestyle Indie, which was pretty big for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you skipped over.
The walk. Okay, so we met after you basically kind of ended the first season of In the Loop in 2015, and then 2016 is when we walked across America together, and we fell in love instantly. I said I love you the first day I saw you, which is embarrassing, but sometimes you just know. And I thought, that whole experience was so like. Do you have? Maybe we can show a clip of the final video.
Well, that's like 7 minutes long, but
did you grab a little bit of it?
Yeah. Well, this was actually the first promo I put together. So because of the TV shows, again, it kind of comes. A lot of some of the coolest things in my life came from the TV shows. So because of Real Scene TV, I had and we had me and Amber and Michelle. We had featured Helping Hands for Freedom on the show several times, 2 or 3 times, the kids boot camp and these heroes galas and stuff like that. And so we had already developed a relationship Helping Hands for Freedom, great organization that helps the families of the fallen, wounded, and deployed, mainly geared towards the children, because they're the most dramatically affected. So just just making sure that they're taken care of, but also paying for electric bills or a car or whatever. Just finding the needs of those families and helping them out. So we had featured them several times, and then over a few years, we developed a relationship, and so they started to develop this Walk Across America thing. And they came to me and said, "Hey, we're doing this thing. What do you think?" And I'm like, I'm gonna have to get back with you. So on the drive home this was after a shoot for Real Scene, and I'm like, I think I want to shoot a documentary. I want to fold up what I'm doing and go with them and be with them for the 4 months that they're doing this Walk Across America and shoot. And put together a thing. So I did that. So after In the Loop, this is 2015, I wrapped up In the Loop that was playing every week on Wish TV, and I figured I would need a few months to wrap up clients and just kind of make sure I was in a good position to just leave my apartment and be gone for 4 months at a time, or 4 or 5 months at one time.
Yeah.
And man, it just what an absolute what a life-changing experience. So you and I met going back to Midwest Fashion Week. Going back to Midwest Fashion Week. This was Midwest Fashion Week, spring 2016. So this was like March, and the walk was scheduled for
like 1 week.
Was it the end? It was like March 28th to March, April, May, June, July. No, maybe it was April 20. I don't know. It's like March or April. We were scheduled to like just be gone.
To leave. Yeah.
Travel to New Jersey and start walking.
So I ended up messaging you about.
Yeah. So we met. Just in passing. You were on camera. Actually, I should have queued that up. The footage of the first time you were.
I do.
In front of my camera.
Yeah,
that little interview at the boutique. Yeah.
I wonder.
You were a model. That was your first. And of course I do Midwest Fashion Week every year, so I know who the new models are and who's going to. So I recognize.
Was that my first year? Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely. I've done every Midwest Fashion Week, and you were never.
2016.
Yeah.
Seems like it was earlier than that, but yeah. And so you interviewed me. I felt a little ting, and then we hadn't. And then I
that was earlier in the week, and then the big show happened, and you actually performed at it. You played piano. And my comment to you that day was like, "Hey, great job." You're like, "Oh, thanks, doll." I was like, "Hey." and then shortly after that, you had messaged me and said, "Hey, just wondering if you have any photos or videos."
No, I said, "Who is Pilar? I need her to runway coach me because she's a badass." And you're just like, blah blah. And
Renee's
then you're just like,
memory is mistaken. I've actually gone back to our messages.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you were like,
and I told him like, "Yeah,
I'm going in to Walk Across America," and I'm like, "What?"
I told her, I'm like, "Well, I am going to have to get this up pretty quick, so I'll let you know because I'm wrapping it up to do this Walk Across America."
And
you're like, "What? I want to walk across America." I'm like, "Okay, weirdo."
And I'm like, "No, seriously."
Yeah, and so I sent her this little promo thing that I had done because I was trying to raise money for the documentary and everything, and I sent her, and she's like, "Oh my God, I want to do this." I'm like, I was so like, what?
It was unexpected.
This younger girl that was like, I would just want to leave and go and hang out with these guys walking across America. And so I didn't take her seriously until the third time.
Really
amazing, she really was fired up about the cause and like this is my destiny. So the third time, I'm like, okay, if you're serious about this, like, let's go out to lunch or something, or grab drinks and like see, because I
mean, because we would be like living together.
Yeah, we would literally be stuck in the back of a van, down by the river. No, following them around, and it was going to be quite the undertaking. I didn't know where she was in her headspace or work-wise or whatever. So I'm like, we're going to be gone for 4 months. And so I just had to make things very clear and tell her what was going to be expected of her shooting shooting, not editing, but she would be another,
we went out. Oh, no. How about, tell them how you came to my house in my state.
Oh, geez. Okay. So we made arrangements like, okay, I'll come. I mean, this all had to happen very fast because we were getting ready to do this in like a matter of weeks. It wasn't 1 week. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
It was like one day, pretty much. Like we were leaving very soon.
and yet like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So I had to like figure out if she's gonna work, and then make arrangements, and then talk to the organization, be like, okay, here's my assistant, and vouch for her basically.
Yeah.
Which they
didn't want.
They hesitantly.
They were just like, we can't have a girl, and then he had to say, no, she is like one of the guys. Like she is super cool.
Even though I just met her. I'm like,
I know.
She's
I
gonna
have
be
no
great.
idea.
And so. Yeah, so I'm
you
like,
come and
okay,
pick
so
me
I'm gonna,
up.
because did you not have a car, or what was it? Or no, I was just gonna pick you up.
I think you were just gonna pick me up.
I was
'cause
just
we were
gonna make
have
it,
drinks.
like, okay, I'll make the drive. I was on the east side of Indy, she was on the west side.
So you
in Brownsburg. So I come and I knock on the door of the address that I was given, and then her stepdad answers, which is a towering inferno of a man, and gruff, and just straight to the whatever. And he's like, yeah. I was like, is Renee here? No. Are you sure? Because I was so, and then of course, like the first thing in my mouth was like, well, she's supposed to walk across America with me, so I, which is like, okay, I probably should have cushioned that blow. And he's just like, no, she's not here. I'm like, okay. And then I like saw your pitter patter like walk across like behind them, like, was that her? He's like, oh, I guess she is here or whatever. And so anyway, so that was like an awkward.
Which at that time I had just moved back in with my parents for a few, like a year or something. I had been on my own since
Fast forward 5 years, we're on vacation with Jim. Anyway.
I know, yeah. I mean, I've moved out. I've been on my own pretty much since I was really like an older teenager, but happened to be back at home at that time. But so you took me out to B Squared, and we had this cute little Yugoslavic lady that was like a crouton, and then there was like an insider joke. But anyways, nobody will get that.
And I said, can you say crouton again? She's like, crouton.
And literally, I think we kind of had a little teary moment there at that table, and I just feel like it was this like connection, and we've just been so amazing like ever since, like so in love.
2 peas in a pod.
So in love. It's ridiculous.
Immediately migrated to each other, and we went out one more time, and just like kind of a hangout night kind of thing, just to
really hit it off.
So in my mind, I was still like, okay, I gotta make sure that this girl is, whatever. And
besides the romantic side of it, you had to make sure I could actually work, which I assured you that I could copy your work.
Yeah, so she, some of the times she drove the van while I was shooting out the side, the production van.
He was literally hanging out the side, like hanging out of a moving van, while just 100 people and all the fire trucks and the cops were walking with us. And I mean, literally, they walked every day. They walked 30 miles a day except for Mondays, and so Mondays were their only day off. But I mean, it's crazy. And these are older guys that heavier guys. They had to train themselves, but literally, I don't know how they did it. They had broken toes. They went through 15 pairs of shoes. Literally, just walked the
soles
off the shoes.
But we had the shoe sponsors that kept sending shoes, and I mean, just
beautiful experience,
just an incredible life experience that I will never forget. And if you wanna see that, you can message me. I actually, funny story. At the end of this, actually, I'll just show it. So show a
little video.
Here is the first thing that I produced for them during this trip. This was after about a month in, so I had some footage, and they wanted to. Part of the point of me having, like, I basically had my editing suite in this 30-foot trailer, travel home, RV. Whatever you want to call RV. Yeah. That was the kind of the recovery vehicle, one of 3 recovery vehicles.
Which was signed by like thousands of people.
That was for us to sleep in at night. Sometimes it was hotels, but they were literally walking 30 miles a day. There was no transporting and, shortcuts or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. So I had my whole, setup there and would do editing. And so part of it was to promote what was happening. If we were going into a certain state, we'd do stuff for social media and tag and all this stuff. So I was producing things along the way besides shooting for the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And
we ended up staying in the van because we was not trying to stay in the RV with all them snoring guys.
Yeah,
show the video,
right,
baby.
So here is here's the quick little 30-second video.
Just day 1 of Route for the Brave.
So that was literally a shot from that first day where he mentioned that. So right there is the routeforthebrave.org, and funny story. So I'm like, okay, since we're going to mention this during this episode, I wanted to have a quick and easy way for people to check out so at the end of the walk, I did like a 7-minute route summary, Walk for the Brave summary, and that would kind of show just a lot more than what we did there. So I actually went to, I wonder what's at routeforthebrave.org. Anyway, the domain expired. I bought the domain. I literally bought that domain today and was going to have it forward to the 7-minute summary on my YouTube page, but it hadn't quite got into my GoDaddy account and all that, so that didn't happen. But that's what I'm going to do with it. Since I bought it, I might as well do that as an easy way for people to, because we end up talking about it every so often. And it really is one of my most.
We're just so proud of it.
It's one of my most proudest works. So that's the funny story behind there. But just an absolutely, so that was 2016.
It was very emotional, very beautiful. We met a lot of veterans and just cried the whole time, pretty much.
The stories that we heard from Gold Star moms and Gold Star dads, and just hearing about the loss and so it really kind of got me out of a bubble, and it really expanded my horizons. I really wanted to, when I came back from that experience, I'm like, I want to do bigger things, I love doing the local stuff, and as it turns out, I am still doing pretty local things, although I do have big plans for this one. That's going to go well beyond the local stuff, but at the end of the day, I still got to pay bills, and that's an easy way for me to do it with local production and stuff like that. But I really am fired up to do some bigger, just bigger scope. Projects.
Definitely. And you have just done so much, and that's what I love about my guests. I mean, I pick my guests for a reason, because just the things that you have under your belt, the stuff that you've done. I mean, it's such amazing work to be proud of. And I just wanted my viewers to hear your story. I mean, let alone our relationship. We're cute as a button. I mean, how about you? Well, first of all, is there anything before we roll?
We didn't talk about Lifestyle Indie yet.
Oh, yeah.
The fourth TV show.
Okay.
Which actually started out as Boomer TV. Yeah, started out as Boomer TV. And it kind of...
On WFYI, right?
Well, Boomer was actually on WTHR, I think, initially. And just like Real Scene was, where there was kind of a production, like a show that was already happening, Mary Pat, executive producer of the show, she had kind of made some changes, parted ways with the previous production company and people and host, and I kind of came in and took over the production side of things, and also set myself up as an executive producer on it, and got to work with Paul Poteet and Julie Patterson and some other great hosts. So another opportunity to work in an ensemble environment. So I keep flip-flopping back and forth from doing my own thing to working with other, blah, blah, blah. So this went for a few years. Boomer TV ended up, I came in at season 4, I think, and we went...
wildly successful show and magazine.
And switched from magazine and, digital side of things. And about a year or two in, switched from Boomer TV to, did a rebrand and moved to Lifestyle Indie. And we went on WFYI. So here is...
Which is big. I mean, WFYI.
Yeah, different format. That was my first time producing anything for public television, so there's a pretty dramatic change in how you can present things, mainly from a sales perspective, but after you kind of learn the ropes, it's not that big of a deal. So here's a little clip of Lifestyle Indie. That's not it. There it is.
There it is. Paul Poteet and Julie Patterson.
Well, we're going to the Sushi Boss.
Somebody already did the fishing
Which is my sponsor.
You just do the eating now.
Just want to make sure you're awake. There's 2 great locations. You're going to find out how this restaurant
So this is just a preview of one of our episodes. We did about 4 segments in each
it does
episode.
indeed.
Yeah, and we're also going to meet
multi-camera,
the
of course,
artisans who sometimes are artistic with food.
Well, they're always artistic with mixed media or whatever they use to create their art, but food is definitely involved also. We're going to meet some of these great artists.
We have one of our reporters who's made a personal connection with the program.
Paul Poteet now moved to Cincinnati since doing this,
and they're both big time TV, big time radio.
And we're going to check in with Altman, Poindexter, Wyatt, attorneys at law.
You know what? If you need to lawyer up, man, they know what they're talking about, and they're going to give us some advice on the show this week.
And you know what I loved about the show is that, like you said, 4 segments per show.
They'll say the same thing after their segment, the Sushi Boss will
we
say,
have so many different
You've
shows.
been served.
And the great personalities. You can just see how amazing their personalities was. I got to work behind the scenes and be on WFYI as like a second camera. Woo, camera number 2.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I mean, it's always been fun helping you and do stuff. I know I could only do so much, and that's why you kind of got Austin in there, his assistant. And he helped you out throughout the year. If they're, however long you guys worked together, 1 or 2 years, but which I thought was great. I mean, you deserve someone that can help you a little more than me. I mean, I'm good at setting the tripods up, and I'll do whatever I can, but it's just not it's not my alleyway. But I love seeing what you've done and what you can do. That show was great. How it had so many different segments on different things, and it just was very entertaining to watch on prime television. So I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. It's and it's fun to kind of watch and I'm proud of it too. Even though it's the early stuff is cringy, it's like I'm doing some pretty cool things lately. You know what I mean? Like
you're doing good.
And it's funny that sizzle reel that we show at the beginning, like not only my technique but my gear has changed dramatically. Like I don't even use any of that.
Well, yeah,
gear
and you've
from 5
upgraded
years
so
ago.
much, to the 4K and to the. What's it called?
It's the big Steadicam and the
Steadicam,
drone.
yeah,
and
the drone, which his name is Bob, named after my late grandpa.
So now it's So
what does now look like?
So
for you?
Lifestyle
what does the future
Indie
look
folded in about 2019, and I had she ended up taking that just digital. Mary Pat just kind of made the decision to just kind of focus on the magazine side of things, and so, but I had already kind of started this podcast thing, and it's evolved quite a bit to what it is now.
Which
and,
is here,
and
right?
Still evolving.
On this very table is where you have all these podcasts. He's got amazing clients for podcasts. I mean, let's talk a little bit about your podcasters. You have Glenn Bill, who is huge, big-time motivational speaker.
Actually, I have a clip. for Glenn Bill.
Yeah, let's see it. Glenn Bill is
What is the roadmap to defeat self-sabotage, negative thinking, and learned helplessness? In these unprecedented times,
this is the trailer for season 2, which just dropped yesterday.
Get growing, get certain, and get attitude.
Look at him!
The Get Attitude Podcast.
So that was
he's just wildly amazing dude.
I created that just a couple of weeks ago, and he loved it. Everyone loved it.
Everyone, yeah.
We actually just moved his show to from Libsyn to C-Suite, which has a audio side but also a TV side. So we're going to be going on what are it's like Amazon Fire, as far as the TV formats, Roku.
But yeah. Okay.
There's 4, but Apple TV. So these will be ways, so kind of taking that next step, since we do have such a heavy video side of things, not just audio, even though it's podcasts. And I've kind of started using the word Vodcast.
I hate that word for some reason.
What is
Vodcast.
It's like, what does the V stand for? Obviously video. So, but that's an actual term. I didn't make it up. It's vodcast is
I'm vodcasting.
Yeah, it's podcasts with
so this is
with the video
technically
side.
a vodcast.
Yeah,
I refuse. I
so
refuse.
Going from just the YouTube side of things, we're making it so that people can access it more easily from their living room.
Mm-hmm. And so some of your others, I mean, tell us about Ryan and Austin, which is real estate.
Yeah. So I've got blue collar real estate, and without getting too far into each individual one, from health and wellness to real estate, do it yourself, to motivational speaking and attitude and variety. This is really the only show right
Clayton,
here.
Who is just motivational worker-outer.
Trainer.
Yeah,
Andre the Beast Creighton, which is kind of that wellness side of things, but just kind of motivational side of things. Mm-hmm. He talks to people that have overcome obstacles and things like that.
Yeah. So how many shows how many
right
podcasts
now
do you run?
it was 10, and then the coronavirus hit, and now it's 5 active ones. Yeah, half of them kind of had to drop off, but But I'm excited about this one because this will be really the only one that's got a very open format, and we can just,
and
again,
we've
that
been
creative
messing around
freedom
with little like effects and stuff, so it'll be really
So we're gonna
fun.
have a lot of fun. We're gonna crank out
This
a lot
is more
of
of a
content.
chill, informational podcast, but with my other guests, we really go hard.
This will be more like the Joe Rogan kind of thing, to where he's talking to people from all different walks of life and professions and celebrities and stuff like that. So really just having a really cool variety is what I'm most excited about.
For sure.
So that's
where you're at now. Now your career has led you to here, and you're still doing, like you said earlier at the beginning, you're going around doing a cheese thing with all the dairy stuff, which is great because we got a charcuterie board for you.
Yeah.
And cheese. We've been eating cheese, so much cheese.
Again, shooting in the restaurants and stuff like that. One of the perks is that you get
the food.
You get to eat the goods.
And he's been doing some big corporations like the cheese dairy farms, and then like Dormacaba.
I still got the
big time corporations.
The other production stuff that helps pay the bills. And,
helps pay the bills, brings in the money, but it's also good. I mean, it's like big time corporations that it's like, wow. So you don't have to feel like you can,
Dormacaba, is an international company. That's why I had. That's one of the main reasons I had such a good year last year, is just because they're a huge company and they had a pretty high requirement for heavy video. They had to figure out a way to get the word out about their products and stuff like that. So they actually created, based on what I had set up for them, they actually created a studio around my gear and actually duplicated all my gear and tweaked it so that
essentially
it was
they
something.
replaced you.
Well, I ran it for a while, and then they hired someone internally, which makes sense because when you just hire a subcontractor. They actually offered me the job, and I turned it down because I've been working on my own for so long.
You're not.
I know what comes with that. I know what comes with being an employee. You know what I mean? I don't like being one of many thousands. I like to be
one of one.
Yeah, I like to be able to do my own thing.
For sure. I've always felt the same way about like joining a modeling agency and stuff. It's like, it's good for a lot of people, but for me, it's not good for me. So So I mean, I respect that, and I think that
to maintain the freedom and power.
Exactly, maintain your own freedom and power. I love that. So Jolly, where can we see you? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years? I mean, obviously, I'm gonna get famous, and we're gonna be like living filthy rich. But
I think there might be. Well, first of all, I'm gonna invest a lot of time, money, and effort into this show. I want to kind of put the treatment on it that I have for past shows.
Cheers to you.
And that is to put, to grow it in a way that it will can make money and will be self-sustaining. It's kind of a different, it's a different format than being on TV. So the monetization side of things is a little trickier, but but it's really silly to not put more effort into this, because we have such a great core components between me behind the camera, you in front of the camera. We're literally living in our studio space and spaces, three spaces.
Studios in our house.
You're so talented in front of the camera, just interview wise, but also the music side of things. So we're going to tap into that. And I'm going to bleed you dry. So I hope you're down for it.
Hell yeah. I've been waiting for this for my whole life. I've been waiting for you to bleed me dry.
But then also, going on this vacation that we did and doing some shooting, like it kind of got me thinking about like doing some travel videos, maybe doing stuff that, maybe every few months or something, we do a little special to where we're traveling out and develop relationships with hotels and things like that, to where we can kind of do some of that stuff and really
which leads into my idea,
really cool
which I don't want to tell because I don't want anybody to steal the idea, but I do have an idea for a TV show about involving world travel, so we'll see.
And that was basically my inspiration for Nightlights.
Right, but more so
because they had a show on E18 television that
just the most beautiful places in the world type stuff. So, and we'll get there. And I think
kind of the same stuff I've done, only bigger.
Yeah, we'll do it. I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to take probably a year to get one season out. If we can go do a little trip on the most beautiful places, exotic places in the world.
Well, and I think for starters, we would just incorporate them into this show. So we go and then we come back and we edit together and then we kind of showcase that. So it's kind of this little hybrid,
2-in-1,
and then at some point we kind of can break that off and it can become its own thing, perhaps.
Well, you're so sweet, baby. Is there anything else that you want to add before you play our video of how cute we are, and then we can just talk about that? I mean, anything else in your, I mean, you've had such an extensive and exquisite career so far. I mean, since 97, you've been doing video. That's over 22 years. And you just, I mean, you've evolved. Even from the beginning, you were just so talented. But, I mean, your level of work is just so high quality. And then everyone that you do work for knows that, and they see that, and you're just the sweetest, most patient guy. I mean, I wish I had your patience. I turn into a little monster sometimes, but you are just a little gumdrop button. I just want to eat you. You're so cute.
And sometimes you do. You eat my dumplings.
I know. I eat your chicken, your cheek dumplings.
Chickens. Of course. It was just a matter of time before chicken nuggets was incorporated in this conversation.
Chicken nuggies! Woo! No, I have a problem. I always squish his cheeks. They're so squishy.
Right there.
They're very squishy.
No, it's just I love what I do, and it's man, it's just what a ride it's been. I'm proud of where I've come from. You know, I feel like I've built myself and my product from scratch, and it's developed over time. It's fun and exciting to see how it's developed. I'm proud of it. Even the cringy stuff, because it was all building blocks, and it all got me to where.
And we're our own worst critics, so I mean, I don't think they're cringy.
That's true.
Except for some of that nightlight stuff with your ex. Okay.
So I had to show it to show the complete picture. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It works.
And I'm just always excited to wake up every day and to walk into this room and to just create and to see what's next, and to you know, to provide my clients with products that they are also proud of and are happy with, and willing to pay for, of course. And but also, you know, the creative side of things, and being able to create new products and exciting things. And you know, it's funny, as I prepared this stuff for this episode today, just going through all that, it really kind of
evokes some emotions.
It's like, man, what
a journey.
What a ride, what a journey. And just, I've done some big things. And
it all comes down to the amount of work you've put in. I mean, I've never seen someone that has worked so hard and so much. And it's just so sweet. You're such an amazing person and provider. And then, I mean, you provide for your clients. I mean, you put that work into every single thing that you do.
Yeah. Yeah. The TV shows especially, that's next level amount of work. I mean,
especially because you do it all. I mean, you do the
sales,
editing, the filming, the sales.
The sales is the worst part, because you literally have to call places and say, hey, here's what I do. I have a TV show. It's a cool show. We highlight these things, blah, blah, blah. And then you got to have a meeting, and then they got, you know, so it's like there's all of the stuff that has to happen before you even get to the shooting, and then the editing, and then
I mean, how do you even do all that? I mean, most people can only do literally one thing, and you're doing multiple
because I love working.
things.
I love working. I work.
And you've started to expand your team last year before the pandemic. You kind of finally, reluctantly,
a little bit, but now here we are back to just me again,
you,
which is fine. It's almost like I don't know. It's hard to.
It's hard to relinquish any power and build that team, but I mean,
really
if we had a higher budget, then I'm sure you would be able to do some stuff with a bigger team.
The most part, the biggest part of it is it's hard to rely on other people to not disappoint.
Exactly.
I know that I will never disappoint myself.
Yeah, and to do your quality of work and exactly how you would do it. I mean, it's hard to put that in someone else's hands, for sure, because no one's going to do it the way you do it. So,
but I have a small crew of people that I could dip into if I need it for larger things. But
definitely,
you know, that's why I have robotic cameras now, so that I can run multiple cameras on my own still.
Zoom in on my eyebrow if you want.
Okay.
Okay, don't do it.
Okay. How about unlock the focus? There we go. Well, hello there, sparkly girl. Hello.
Hello.
It's a 30 times zoom, y'all.
I had it like, I was like, oh, do you see? Those eyebrows are pimping. I'm obsessed with my own eyebrows. I've been on eyebrow strike for like 3 years. Haven't even plucked. Probably longer than that. I don't pluck. I don't do nothing. I'm trying to get them book shields. So I just think you're amazing. I'm glad you were able to come on the show and tell us about your childhood. Tell us about your career of 22 years.
I don't know if anyone finds it interesting, but
I do. I think it's amazing to see the path and the journey.
You had to be there.
I mean, dude, you have had 4 TV shows, not to mention all of the other stuff. 10 years working with Midwest Fashion Week, filming Midwest Fashion Week all over the, Paris. Or, well, you haven't done Paris yet, but you've done Chicago and Indiana.
India and Chicago. Yep.
Indiana, Chicago. 10 years of filming fashion. I mean, that's amazing. You've done. I mean, most people have done one little thing. You've done like 50 million things. I think that's so remarkable. I mean, from your 4 TV shows to the short films to the full length feature movies you've worked on and worked with. And I mean, just recently we worked with what's his name, Mark, who has done an amazing movie with friggin' Danny Trejo in it. I mean, we've done some incredible stuff.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
crazy. I mean, your resume just goes on, and I think that's beautiful.
Thanks.
And I love that you started as a cute little baby with a hammer.
As we all did.
Splicing.
Not necessarily with a hammer, but
splicing the little tracks and doing stuff like that. I think that's beautiful. Back then, I mean, that's all you could do is do like the what is it called again? With the splicing and the records. I mean, that's super old school.
Records. Film.
Not film, yes.
Linear editing.
Linear editing, yeah. I mean, that's crazy. That's time consuming. You gotta just splice.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you can leave us with, baby? And
did you want to watch our little video?
Yeah, let's watch our video.
Okay.
I think we're cute. I put it together. Well, actually, my iPhone did, but I had to take out some of the crazy ones. But it's super cute. We're adorable. We've been together. You can go ahead and roll it, puppy. We've been together so long. We just celebrated our 4 years, but it's been about 5 years. And every day has just been so great with you. You make me happy.
You make me happy. I haven't watched this yet.
There's a million different photos that I could have used, but we have thousands of memories and photos together. Ew, my tongue is touching. Coronavirus? Oh, there's Brandon Jones. There's your dad.
Sideways.
Apple Store. We've just had so many fun adventures, like every day. Oh,
what
God.
That's our baby.
There's our handshake, but I think it's in reverse.
No.
There's your mommy. I mean, he just takes such good care of me. We always go on dates, and I started complaining because he worked too much, so he made it a point to take me out more, and
make the time.
And he gives me piggyback rides. I mean, we hang out. We just are so sweet.
Fuck that beard. By the way.
I love that beard. I miss your beard. You're just so handsome.
Stop.
You're so handsome, boy. Handsome boy. Oh, handsome puppy. That's when we got our first Christmas tree. Oh, it's a baby. No, that wasn't Titus.
What the?
Bubbles. There's my Papa, my sweet Papa. There's Austin. Sleepy. Oh, you're so cute.
Dora Macabre. One of the first shoots.
I think you were.
Was I sleeping there?
Yeah.
3.
Look at your dirt all over your head. There's Darren Fishburne. DJ Iron Lion.
I love that shirt.
Your beard is epic.
It's retarded.
Grow it. Oh my God, your fingers.
Wow.
You're sleeping.
I work so hard, I sleep.
You're so sleepy.
Fetch the what?
Fetch.
What the?
There's the cheeks.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you. You said no. Oh.
Baller.
You're so
Naked.
precious. I love that picture of you. Oh my God. This is when you should.
Why are you showing my?
That's when you were trying to shave off your beard. I was like, no. Josh Michael. There's Gary.
Whoa. I wear your eyes like that?
I had contacts in.
This is cute.
I know, this is the type of stuff that I like will make me cry, lol. There's Titus, baby. Oh, handsome boy.
So dashing with my little laptop.
Your laptop case. Oh, your face.
So cute.
Oh, you got me teary. Oh
We're
my
adorable.
God. No, we gotta get off before I start crying now because you know me. So
I love you.
I love you. I love you endlessly. Thank you so much for being the most amazing person I know and for being just such a talented hard worker and sharing your story with my peoples. And everyone can find this all over. You know what I mean? We got all the different podcast things and, you know, Jolly.
Spotify, Apple, iTunes, like all of it. I mean, you know,
Literally,
all the
all of them.
wherever you like to listen to your podcast, and YouTube if you want to see the video side of things. I don't know if I'm going to see how things play out with C-Suite to see if it makes any sense to move over there.
To
Yeah,
lip sync,
but
yeah.
I'm curious to see how that goes as far as other ways for people to watch the video side of things, because I do have such a strong emphasis on video for these. So
Yeah. Thank you for everything.
I'm excited to create with you and build.
I know. I can't wait to see what we do. We're going to pump
Hold
out
on.
some music videos. People are going to love
About to
it.
work you hard.
Do it, please. Like you said, bleed me dry. I've always wanted someone to do that.
Okay.
That's the best thing someone could do for me is like literally just because I got it. So, I mean, I just need a little help. I need you to come in and take what I got and produce it. And that's what you do.
Yep.
I love you so much. I love you. I love you. Let's go eat some bacon or something.
Do we have bacon?
Oh, no. I'll cook us some steaks, little potatoes, and green beans and steaks. How about that? Okay?
It's like 9 o'clock at night. I don't want to eat that heavy. So I'm trying to make me fat or
Okay,
keep me
maybe
fat.
we'll just eat some popcorn.
Let's go work out.
Ew.
Let's go to Planet Fitness, work out.
Oh, God. I'm still not okay from tanning for 4 minutes like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
You should have wore your cherry sweater in the tanning bed.
Yeah, just cover up. Ah, don't touch me, son.
Yeah.
Baby, here's a cheers to you. Cheers to Jason Aaron. He's a beautiful, beautiful soul. I love you so, so much. You are my freaking baby doll. I love you.
Obsessed with dragons?
I love you. Dragons are my life. Look at that beautiful drink. It's so cute. Do a little invisible cheers to me. Dink.
Dink.
Dink. Everybody, thank you so much for viewing the Renee Michelle Merrifield Show. God bless you guys. Stay cool during the pandemic. I know it's really hard still, and it's going to be okay. Just go out there, open those doors, open your windows, let the birds and the sunshine, you know, just hear the sounds coming through the airwaves, and it's all going to be good. We're going to get through this together as a country, as a world. We're all going to be okay. So just don't get too depressed. I was talking to my best friend last night, Sarah Harvey, and yeah, we were just both like, oh, but it is gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this together. You just gotta keep living. That's all that matters. Jolly, I love you endlessly. Thank you for being a guest on my show.
That's me. I'm Jolly.
On the Renee Michelle Merrifield Show. We will see you guys next Thursday at 7 p.m. I love you all so much, and thank you for following. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.